welcome to this new video with Alvin Kamals. The month of June is over, and I know a lot of people can say this month was full of those full days and hot days, but we have to talk about the 4th of July, those temperature trends, and we're also looking at the tropics. So watch this video all the way to the end. But first, before I show you your 4th of July forecast, note that there could be some changes between now and then. Let's look at those temperature trends for parts of Missouri and Illinois on July 4th, and notice how those temperatures are in the mid to upper 80s. Don't focus on the exact temperatures because any storm chances could bring these temperatures a little bit lower, or maybe if they were to drop a little bit, they could go a little bit higher. Also, that humidity as well. This does not look to be a washout, so don't cancel any of your plans, but note that storms are in the forecast like every single year, and they could always have an impact on the temperatures in a good way or a bad way. Now, those temperatures leading up to the 4th of July, like on July 3rd, notice how you have a lot of 90s on the board, and also even on Tuesday, July 2nd. But again, on July 4th, there are really going to be questions if those storm chances could make temperatures slightly cooler or maybe even a little bit hotter. So I'll be keeping you updated on my Twitter page. Of course, the link is down in the description. Now let's talk about the new month of July, those temperature trends. I know that's something that we all want to talk about, and of course those fireworks that you're probably going to be setting up on July 4th. And note how we're starting July, these temperature trends across the area. The Northeast is above normal, where our area for parts of Missouri and Illinois is leading near or just slightly above normal, which is, I think, a bit better to see compared to the above normal temperatures that were spread across a good portion of the U.S. in June. But as we progress through the 8 to 14 day temperature outlook, which could change, note that they update this every single day from the Climate Prediction Center down in Norman, Oklahoma. You can see how we're still trending with above normal temperatures, but you notice how the Northeast is still trending even better confidence, I should say, better probabilities of above normal temperatures towards the Northeast or the further east you go. So this does mean that there could be some hotter days in the forecast in general, but I don't think it would be horrible. Definitely July is one of our hotter months still, and the month of July is still hurricane season, so we have to talk about the tropics. This is Hurricane Beryl, and I've made sure that before I started this video I pronounced it right before I pronounced it wrong, but it is now a Category 4 hurricane as of June 30th. 2024, and you're probably like, okay, Category 4, we've seen this all the time, but this is the earliest Atlantic Category 4 hurricane on record. We don't really get some hurricanes, or at least major hurricanes, so early in the season, and this is the reason why a lot of people have been talking about this on X and taking it pretty seriously. And here are some of the key messages that also come from the Hurricane Prediction Center. We have a Storm Prediction Center, Climate Prediction Center, and even a Hurricane Prediction Center. And even when the Northern Lights were going off a couple months ago, we even had the Space Prediction Center. So we have a lot of things. But notice how Beryl is expected to be an extreme dangerous Category 4 hurricane when it reaches the Windward Islands. Note that this isn't impacting our area, but I also want to go a little bit in depth and talk about the tropics because it is hurricane season, and this would be a dangerous situation for those people that probably lived in places like the Caribbean Sea as we head towards later this week. Places like Jamaica are actually areas of interest and places that could get some big impacts from this hurricane. So this is definitely not something to talk about. It definitely has been strengthening a whole lot faster than expected. So that is something. And here's the website that is loading up on my screen, and you can see the key messages that we were talking about, but I actually wanted to take it to the actual cone. And this is where we call it the cone of uncertainty. The bigger it gets, the more questions regarding exactly where the eye of the hurricane is going to travel. And note that outside of this cone, you can still get some real big impacts in terms of rip currents and etc. But notice how this could potentially be a major hurricane as it heads towards the Jamaica, and even once it gets to Jamaica, it may weaken just a little bit, but there's still some questions on exactly how this is going to play out. It's still going to be a hurricane once it gets to Jamaica, and even as it possibly could be going towards the Gulf, but notice how it weakens just a little bit once it gets towards Mexico. Either way, it's a major hurricane, so, and really we don't get such a named storm or a major hurricane this early, and that's why it definitely has gotten so many people's attention. Note again, the earliest Atlantic Category 4 hurricane on record. And that's something to monitor as it continues to move towards the Windward Islands. And of course, this would be a dangerous situation for them when it comes to storm surge, like every single year when we deal with this, and also those dangerous waves that Beryl will bring over portions of the Windward Islands, and also as it continues to move inland towards the Caribbeans and possibly even moving through Jamaica. But note that I'm going to continue to talk about this, especially on my Twitter page, to see how this is, and definitely will be something to monitor moving forward. So I definitely wanted to bring that to your attention. Maybe have people on vacation that are in the Windward Islands, or maybe you have somebody that's in Jamaica. You definitely want to get their attention if they do not know what could be heading their way. So definitely this is pretty odd how we get the big heat so early in the season, and then we also have the hurricane that has become a major hurricane so early. And so definitely this will be something to monitor, as hurricane season is expected to be pretty busy this year. But in general, for here in the St. Louis area, I guess we are all concerned about 4th of July. And like I said, those temperatures could always vary a little bit higher and lower. They're looking to be in the mid to upper 80s as of right now. And any storm chances would always have an impact on the temperatures. Otherwise, if it isn't for storm chances, because not everyone will be impacted, and it does not look to be a washout, then it'll probably be hot and even a little bit of humidity. I'll have the latest details on your forecast, including the tropics, on my Twitter page, or X, whatever you want to call it, and you can follow me. The link will be down in the description, and there are many more weather enthusiasts that are covering the exact same thing. Until then, I hope this made sense. What I just spoke about in the tropics has nothing to do with the United States at this time, and it does not have anything to do with us here. We don't get hurricanes here on land. They weaken significantly once they get here, but I definitely want to take my forecast outside of Missouri and Illinois and talk about the big story that you're probably going to hear on the news if you haven't heard already. So that definitely is going to be something to monitor over the next couple of days, and we'll continue to talk about the tropics as long as hurricane season is active. But until then, I hope all this made sense, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. Again, I have the latest details on that, plus your 4th of July forecast in my Twitter page, or X, whatever you want to call it. Again, the link will be down in the description. Until then, make sure you like and subscribe with notifications on. I may be even doing an update to my channel name. I know a lot of people have seen that I've updated my profile pic. I may be even doing an update to my channel name. I'm not sure yet, but I'm still remaining on this channel, so do not worry. Stay here with me for updates, and also on Twitter or X. Until then, I hope you have a great start to your week.